A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make a success at any time. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. So, the headmaster of Einstein's school told Einstein's father that Einstein would never be a successful person in whatever profession he chose. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. So here the word amateur, A-M-A-T-E-U-R, the word amateur means doing something for personal enjoyment rather than as a profession, something which is your hobby and you do it as a pastime. So let me explain these lines. Einstein was a very good violinist. He learned playing the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to learn to play it. All his life he was an amateur violinist. He played the violin as a hobby, not as a profession. So the word amateur means, amateur refers to the skill of Einstein violin playing. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled there that he left the school for good. So Albert Einstein was a very good student. The sentence is saying that but Albert Einstein was not a bad people. That means people means student. That means Albert Einstein was a very good student. He went to school in Munich, M-U-N-I-C-H, because his family had moved from Ulm to Munich when he was 15 months old and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. Here the word regimentation means order or discipline taken to an extreme. So the school where Einstein went had a very strict discipline which he disliked. Due to that, he often clashed with his teachers' opinions and opposed them. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So Einstein was so suffocated in that school that he could not follow the strict discipline. Here the word, as prolonged decision, Einstein got wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So at the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled that he left the school for good. So Einstein was so suffocated. The word stifled means unable to breathe or suffocated. So Einstein was so suffocated in that school, he could not follow the strict discipline, and so he left the school forever. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So when Albert Einstein left school, 1 year before that, his parents had moved to another city, namely Milan, M-I-L-A-N. Milan, which is in Italy. Albert was left behind in Munich with his relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So, here the word liberal means willing to understand and respect others' opinion. The word liberal means willing to understand and respect others' opinion. The school in Munich was very strict. Albert could not follow the discipline over there, so he had a long discussion with his family, relatives and family. His parents agreed to put him in a school in Switzerland, and the language used there for communication was German. So, German speaking Switzerland. So, the school was in Switzerland and the language used there for communication was German. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics, and after finishing school he decided to study at a university in Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the Walrus mustache. So, Einstein was good at studies, definitely. He was highly gifted in mathematics. So, he was exceptionally good in mathematics and also had interest in physics. Once he finished school, he joined the university in Zurich. But science wasn't only the thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the walrus mustache. So, walrus is a shape of mustache. Okay, here the phrase walrus mustache is a shape of mustache. So, science was not only a thing that appealed to Einstein, who was very handsome young man. Other than science, he had interest in something else also. He also felt a special interest in fellow student Mileva Merrick, whom he found to be a clever creature. This young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. The couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. Wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion." So, in this paragraph, he also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Merrick, whom he found to be a clever creature. So, other than maths and physics, Albert Einstein liked one of his fellow students. Her name was Mileva Merrick. He thought that she was very clever, sharp and intelligent. This young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. So, they met at the University of Zurich. Mileva Merrick belonged to Serbia. That is why she is called as Serb, S-E-R-B. So, Miss Merrick belongs to Serbia. She came from Serbia to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few universities in Europe which gave degrees to female students. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. The word here ally, A-L-L-Y, ally means a friend or an associate. You can see that ally means a friend or an associate. And also the word Philistines means a word used disapprovingly to talk about people who do not like art, literature or music. To be at odds means to be in the opposition of someone, to be against someone. To be at odd means, here the phrase is to be at odds, isn't it? He was constantly at odds. So, the phrase at odd means to be in the opposition of someone, to be against someone. So, Einstein felt that Mileva was a friend because she also liked art, literature and music. Both shared this common interest. In those days, having interest in art, literature, or music was not considered to be good. Okay. So those people who were interested in art, literature, or music used to call their opponents Philistines. Albert Einstein's family and many people in the university were not in favor of this. So against such people, Albert Einstein and Mileva Merrick's unity helped them face the situation. The couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words. Mixing science with tenderness, wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion." So Albert Einstein and Miss Merrick fell in love, and they started exchanging love letters to express their feelings. Actually, they used to write such kinds of letters where they used to mix science with their feelings. At one instance, for an example, Einstein talked about his scientific invention and said that he would be very proud on that day when they would finally conclude their paper on the theory of relativity.